Thanks for being with us on the stream here in CBS News Chicago. We have been following an anti-ICE rally that started at Federal Plaza here in the Loop around 5:30 this afternoon. It's since moved throughout many locations in the Loop, mostly peaceful, though at one point extremely dangerous due to what has been the biggest headline coming out of this rally, which was a vehicle that got dangerously close to some of those protesters.
And Skywatch was overhead when it happened, so I believe we're going to roll that part of the video for you right here. But actually, before we do that, let's check in with Jermont. Jermont, you're at where? State and Monroe still, or no? Where are you?
I am, yes, Joe and Maria, I'm still here at State and Monroe, and you know that when we were on air, we were showing you that police had the transport vehicle where they were detaining people, where they were being disruptive on the streets. But if we walk south here on State Street, this is because traffic cannot go down south here on State because police are still lining this area. As you know, those demonstrators are still walking the streets of downtown, tried to get on DuSable Lakeshore Drive. They were unsuccessful and police were able to push them back. But in the process of this demonstration, which started at Federal Plaza, we do know that I saw at least 2 people being detained. Let's get you to the video. This shows one woman who is wrapped in a flag, and you can see 4 officers carrying her, 2 by the hands and also by the foot. She is then put into that police transport vehicle. What she did to get arrested, still to be determined. But Chicago police, they are out here and have been out here monitoring the situation since around 4 o'clock this afternoon, when one group started, maybe 50 to 100 people. But when the actual rally started at Federal Plaza at 5:30, if I was guessing, there was close to nearly 400 to 500 people out there. We were right in the middle, listening to the demonstrators who were upset with the Trump administration's actions, which is going on with ICE. But as they took to the streets, they navigated through downtown and through the Loop. Keep in mind that Chicago police, they were clearly out here. They were ready for any movement that would take place. And I just want to show, we do have Chicago police officers. They're still out here monitoring the situation. And as you know, Chicago police, they just don't monitor on the ground. They have their chopper. They're able to navigate what's going on with the various air support that they also have. We do know 2 people were arrested here at State and Monroe. Our photojournalist Sam Vega also pointed out that he saw an additional 2 people being detained. What they did to be detained by Chicago police to be determined. But for the most part, the demonstrations have been peaceful as they navigate through the streets of downtown here in what is still considered rush hour. People have been walking by, unable to get to where they need to, but as this demonstration continues to move around the Loop, Chicago police are monitoring the situation, making sure that they are not disrupting traffic in a major way, and any agitators in that group, they are detaining and taking them into custody. That's the very latest reporting in the Loop at State and Monroe. Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago.
Thank you, Jermont. It's true, we have seen CPD following its own protocol, walking side by side with these demonstrators, but we want to show you this video we were talking about now. That is a red car growing through a crowd of these protesters. Just what, Joe, 45 minutes ago?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was about a half an hour ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And boy, that's scary when you see this, because I'm just thankful that this driver did stop, because short of stopping, they could have just plowed through a number of people right there. But right after this, the road opens up for this driver, and she then takes off on a roundabout trip through the Loop. Skywatch was overhead as that driver came very close to other cars and other other pedestrians on the road. And you'll see some of that here as the chase unfolds. But we thought at one point she might try to get on to, there's a divvy bike right there that she almost hit or had to go around. We thought maybe she would get on the Stevenson, but she didn't and continued. Skywatch ended up losing that car, unfortunately. Let's check back in with Sabrina Franza. She's with the crowd. Sabrina.
Hey Joe, hey Marie. Right now we're walking just past the Art Institute. For a while, this group was headed their way towards Grant Park, made a loop, and now they're going back towards the heart of downtown here. You can hear, most likely, the CPD helicopter that has been hovering just above us for the last 20 minutes or so. Incredibly low to the ground for somebody that's not used to standing so close to a helicopter like this. Monitoring what's going on here in the area as hundreds of people have made their way around the loop and then, like I mentioned, towards Grant Park and now back. It's unclear where this group is going, but as you've been talking about, incredibly scary moments for a car to be driving through a portion of the crowd. We spoke to somebody who witnessed what happened. Take a listen.
So basically what happened is people started running behind us. The Chicago police were on either side where State intersected Monroe, and instead of trying to block the car, they were trying to block the demonstrators. It was a miracle that nobody got hit. A sign was knocked over, somebody was knocked over, but nobody got seriously hurt. This is an example of the Chicago Police Department not doing their job of protecting the people and instead protecting the property of the rich.
Can you just talk me through the behavior of the car and what a miracle it is that nobody was seriously injured?
Well, the car continued to accelerate. It started off at State Street about 30 miles an hour. By the time it got to Michigan, it was going 50 miles an hour.
You heard that witness detail what happened just behind us as we were doing another live report here on our air. There was a few people that we noticed that were on the ground immediately after that car drove through, but a lot of the organizers as well as some police crowded around those people to make sure that they were okay. We don't know their exact conditions, but as we mentioned and as that witness testified, it doesn't appear like they were seriously injured, which really is incredible given how many people are on the ground here in the loop, still chanting, still adhering to the mission, why they decided to come out here earlier today, protesting against immigration enforcement here in Chicago. Joe, Marie.
I'm wondering if you can tell us where this crowd is heading, because it appeared at least at one point a large portion of the crowd was in Grant Park. Are they still there, do you know, or has part of the group broken off and headed down now wherever you are?
Joe, so we were approaching back into the direction of Grant Park when we saw the crowd that was gathered there make a loop and start filing out. And now here it seems like we're heading northbound on Michigan. I don't know if the crowd has a specific route. You can definitely hear some profanities, a lot of anger here downtown with the way that the Trump administration has been governing. But like I mentioned, it seems like now they're heading northbound on Michigan. We were trying to get in touch with the organizers of this protest earlier today to figure out if there's any sort of concrete plan, any route that was the plan to follow. We were not able to do that before the protest began, and as we've been reporting, it seems like there have been multiple groups that have converged into one here. This group is much larger than the anticipated size of earlier today, and I think the way that Chicago police have responded is reflected in that. We've seen a lot of people earlier today on bikes, on foot, and of course the helicopter we showed you a little bit earlier, but this crowd has kind of surpassed the presence of Chicago police, at times walking around them to continue their protest in Grant Park, and now, as we mentioned, up Michigan Avenue, Joe.
All right, Sabrina, thank you. We'll be in touch.
See a lot of Chicagoans there exercising their right to protest and to demonstrate. We do know, as we're giving you live pictures, that it's possible there may be some signs or actions where people have profanity on the screen, but it is part of being in that mix.